is happening.
A lot of people don't talk about the losses in this space. Lately, I've been consolidating out of projects that I don't think will yield me profit. Most likely, I'll be at a loss on a few, but for tax purposes, this is okay. It will definitely minimize the taxes on much bigger gains that I'll be making in the future.
It's the worst part of the game.
Oh, it's what?
Taxes.
For me to be successful in the upcoming bull market, again, just like I was in 2021, I have to be more strategic this time around to yield the biggest gains possible. Here's a pro tip. I'm going to start some tax loss harvesting moves now on some of these tokens instead of waiting until the end of the year so I can enter some other positions sooner.
Huh? Think about it.
I've already started cutting my losses. If I'm lucky and I'm able to hold some of these by this time next year, if it's over a year and 1 day, the tax hit on those gains will only be no more than 20%. Not financial advice. Will any of these projects that I'm exiting out of bounce back? Especially the ones with sketchy utility or no working use case at all? That's a big unknown, and I'm not waiting around to find out either. It's a risk worth taking for me. I'm here to make some money. I had increased my mining position a couple of years back from GPU mining to mini ASIC mining. I started with 1 CK box, then that grew to 3. The price of those mini ASICs came down so much that in the end, I had 8 of them. Long story short, the bear market arrived and I didn't even get the power on 4 of them. It just became unprofitable to run them due to my electric rate. I still wrote them off on my taxes, of course. Then to top it off, Bitmain, which is the top ASIC manufacturer, they wound up building a much more powerful ASIC that rendered those mini ASICs literally useless at this point. The lack of any meaningful progress in this project that I see compared to other projects that I'm in, it really wasn't worth it to turn them on or even use them for heat during the winter. If you didn't know, people that mine crypto and live in cold climates during the winter, some of us actually use those miners for additional sources of heat during the cold winter months. Might as well earn some crypto while we're heating the house. I've been thinking about this for a while now. Some of these mining companies might actually be working together, because every time a mini ASIC miner comes out, shortly after there's a much bigger and energy efficient miner that follows it. It's almost like a common theme now in the mining that I got out of. Unless you have free electricity or running solar, these miners are useless. Who's building on this project? What meaningful partnerships does it have besides IOHK and Cardano, which is the main reason why I got into CKB to begin with? Everyone has a price prediction. Anybody could pull a freaking number out of thin air and say that's where the price is going to go. Nobody really knows. Now we get to the off-ramps. There's not many off-ramps for CKB in the USA, even using a VPN. Thanks to the government trying to screw its citizens out of investing in this new asset class, we no longer have access to many exchanges like we used to. The exchanges that we do have don't have as nearly the amount as others like Binance, KuCoin, Gate.io. If you're finding any of this information informative, hit that subscribe button. You'll be doing me a big favor. And you get to keep up to date with the moves that I'm making with crypto and other investments. Even though we're coming out of a bear market, my portfolio is still up over 140%. I'm not trying to be a bag holder. That's not part of the plan. If I cannot exit a position fast enough, it's just not going to work for me. This time, it really is different. This time, big exchanges are out of reach to enter and exit this market, which sucks, which means I have to adapt. So I'm positioning myself early by rotating out of CKB and into HBAR. Therefore, CKB is dead to me. Rotating in HBAR makes a hell of a lot more sense at this point. I'll then take my HBAR and stake them to earn a little bit more HBAR at the current interest rate. At this point, I'm over diversified and I need to start consolidating my portfolio. Unless you have a massive mining farm and that you got a very cheap electric rate, which is about sub 10 cent per kilowatt hour, or solar, right now, mining in general is also dead to me. Next up on the chopping block is Unido. I also liquidated my position in Unido. That's with the ticker UDO. I bailed on this project about a month ago. This project is down over 99% from its all-time high. I don't know if anything can bring this back from the dead. Maybe during a peak bull market, who knows? I don't see any meaningful forward movement in this project either. I actually rotated out of this into ETH using MetaMask. Once again, I had to watch those ETH gas fees. You can try to swap at the wrong time while ETH gas fees are high, you can actually lose money on a transaction. Also, keep in mind, if the transaction fails, you're still paying gas fees. That's one of the main reasons why I do not like Ethereum and think it's such a scam. If a transaction fails, why do we still have to pay fees? That's probably why JP Morgan invested in Consensus, the company that actually owns MetaMask. They're making money no matter what. But back to UDO. I got into this project based on partnerships at the time. I no longer see this project gaining much traction. Therefore, UDO is also dead to me.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Next up on the chopping block is Frontier with the ticker FRONT. Frontier is another project that I rotated out of to consolidate my portfolio. I made great gains with this one. I made such good gains. Over 1100% of gains this project got for me. This project does have a working use case that's being utilized. This is another project without many US off-ramps, thanks to the jerk-offs at the SEC. With that being said, Frontier is dead to me as well.
Oh my. Oh my.
These are just a couple of my rotations. As I'm scrolling through my portfolio, I see quite a few positions that I need to get out of, but not just yet. I'm waiting for the market to turn around a little bit more to the upside. When it's time to start taking profits, just like I did in 2021, I don't want to be scrambling looking for a way out or getting raped by Ethereum fees, which a lot of people fail to take into consideration. Many people will not have a plan when the time comes. Trust me on this. People will be blinded by the numbers, watching their portfolio go up in tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, or even seven figures just like mine did. The last bull run, I had a plan, but it wasn't good enough. It just wasn't strong enough. Yes, I pulled massive profits in the last bull market. This upcoming one, if history repeats, it will be epic. I'm treating this as a second chance to a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Some of the projects that I'm deeply invested in, it will be hard to let go. Right now, it seems like I'm married to some of these, but when the time comes, I'm getting a divorce. I'm dumping them so fast, if you blink, you'll miss it.
And like that, he's gone.
Ever get tired of working for a living?
Every damn day. But I've got a nasty addiction called mine, so I do what I do.